Backing music was used illegally.
That XP with Remarkable, Unremarkable. He made the album to lift himself up and pull him out of the quagmire. Ain't we all, man? Ain't we all, brother?
I went on a stag do to London the other year.
Very special guest, XP from Flame Griller, the West Yorkshire rap crew. He's a top bloke. Buy everything he does.
The WYcast is made possible by people going on the XP homepage, www.exp.uk, and buying my albums on vinyl and CD and getting merch as well. So big thanks to everyone who has, and if you enjoy these podcasts, please consider helping out by going and buying some. Welcome to the WYcast Series 4. Big up if you've been here before. But if you've not, then you've missed a lot, and I've quickly got to get you up to speed for sure. So I'm XP, or people call me Ben, hip-hop musician based in Leeds, who's being more intent to promote the scene full of dope MCs, dope producers, dope people whose hopes and dreams involve being part of hip-hop. Might be the love of their life, they might do it just on the side, or go whole hog and it's a company vibe. We're just looking to push hip-hop in West Yorkshire, WY, so with a GoPro and a couple of mics, a Zoom recorder, some seats and things, I meet them in somewhere scenic, and we begin this episode of the WYcast featuring Blackson, Dubwise resident Italian grime MC. Every scene needs one, not every scene's got one. Italian grime. Blackson is a phenomenon. He's killing it, to be honest. His general statistics for listenership are pretty much through the roof, and seems like it's Blackson's world, like, to conquer. Every time I see him, he seems to be on doing better and cooler stuff all the time. Yeah, a hero. We got a chance to hook up in Stuzzi in town, where he used to work, so it was a nice sort of link back to that. Yeah, this is a really dope chat. Blackson,
what are you saying?
How the hell are you doing?
Good, man. Good mush.
Good mush. Yeah. You acclimatized to the local dialect already, bro.
Right.
Thanks for joining me at Stuzzi. You used to work here, I believe,
Yes,
which is
I
why I
used to
thought
work here.
we'd do it here, because I'm a good friend with the head chef, Sai, who's a legend.
Yeah, legend.
But you first came on it happened about the same time. Precinct Phantom came in with a verse, and he was like, "Oh, I've got this verse from this guy Blackson, and I'd never heard of you before." And there was this crazy Italian rapping, and at the same time, I had Sai going, "Oh, there's a rapper that started working with us," you know. So that's the first time I ever heard of it, and since then it's been like, whoa, you've seen it take over the area, and then if you deep dive, it's like you seem to have taken over like loads of places in the world.
Yeah,
as well as
I'm
your
trying to put
hometown
myself in different places,
Fully.
different spaces. You know, like my background is from hip hop.
Yeah.
So I started, as I said before, remember, I started in 2007.
2007, you started out
So
then.
I started like that. Before I was a break dancer.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
So where did you grow up? You're from Italy originally?
So I'm
or?
from Italy originally.
Sick.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
So I was born and bred in Naples, down south.
Yeah.
And then we moved up north in Verona, where I spent the rest of my life there until I decided to come here in the UK in 2015.
2015. So you got into hip hop fully in Verona then?
Yeah. That was the upbringing.
What's the way into hip hop in Verona then?
So again, as I said, I started with breaking because like I had some school friends that they used to do that. They had like older brothers that were already breaking and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was so fascinated by it. So I was like, man, I want to try it, do something. I've got some rhythm already, so why not trying it? And then little by little, like the small MCs, beatboxers start to, hang around with us breakers. And then I was like, oh, what's this thing about beatbox? So then I started beatboxing a bit. And then with beatbox, I wanted to freestyle a bit. This all between 2007 to 2010.
When were you born? What's your birth year?
So 1987.
87, right, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, so early
20s sort of.
Yeah, so 07, 08, 09, all development from like the 4 disciplines, I'd say.
Do a bit of drawing as well?
Not like graffiti, but I did a lot of tagging. I actually got caught one time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh shit! What
Did it
are
go
the
well?
Verona police like with a guy
So
tagging?
we went to the train station. Imagine me like I was like 14 or something like that. I bought my first Montana. Do you remember the Montana aerosol? you know.
Oh, the aerosol. No,
Yeah.
I don't know that. Right, okay.
Yeah, the Montanas, they're like old school, you know, aerosols. So
Yeah.
I bought my first one. It was like a pocket one with a skinny, you know. Went to the train station with some friends, and then we started tagging all the train. There was like a park train in the area. It was a bit secluded.
What did you write back then? What was your tag?
My write was damage.
Damage,
Yeah,
nice.
Damage, yeah. So, but at the time, I used to call myself Damage because I didn't know English like now.
Yeah.
And long story short, like the police of the train station just caught me like on my way out of the police station.
Right.
And imagine my finger was like blue, like the ink.
Caught red-handed, but
You
blue-handed.
get
Yeah.
me, like, and also the pocket was still in my, in my
shit,
pocket.
the
because it
aerosol
was like
word.
yeah. So
pocket
it was
one.
still there, and yeah, like I got caught like really bad, and like you can imagine what happened at home, man.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
crazy.
Parents were not happy about that, man.
Absolutely not.
Did anything bad happen legally, or did they just keep an eye on you, sort of thing? Was it like?
So I needed
when you were young.
I needed to pay a fine.
Oh,
That was
okay.
like, yeah,
paying
around
it.
that time we had lira, so it was like around £1,500.
Jesus
something like that. It was
Christ, that's a lot, man. Yeah, for a young kid. I bet your parents were really pissed off that they have to
Whoa,
cover that bill.
You can't even imagine what happened at home, man. I used to get
It's hip hop.
I used to get the beatings every day for a pound.
A nice 1,500 beatings.
Yeah,
Oh,
1,500
mate.
beatings.
I'm
like,
sorry
it was
to hear
mad.
that.
It was mad.
All right, so you're hanging around doing a bit of drawing, doing a bit of breaking then. And you got into the beatbox as well, so did you
Yeah.
get proficient at beatbox as well?
Yeah,
or?
I can keep a rhythm.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I can
When
keep
does
a
the
rhythm.
rapping come in then?
So straight after beatboxing, I used to beatbox for a friend of mine called Flesher. That is an MC and producer from Verona.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with like freestyling. I wanted to do it as well, like, you know, from the dome freestyle.
Sick.
I was like, man, I want to do it as well. And then I started practicing. By 10, I was already doing like freestyle battles. And I got my name out there because probably I was one of the first black people.
So I've seen a
you know.
footage of you on Italian MTV.
Yes.
Freestyling in a cage,
Yes,
freestyle battling
exactly.
with a dude. Was that era?
Exactly. So that was 2-3 years after.
Right.
Because I started like going to cities and battling people, get to the finals, semi-finals, you know.
Yeah.
You know, getting kicked out. And yeah, it was really a journey to get myself there. And again, I started freestyling because I wanted to get my name out there because there were not many Africans like, you know, originally like doing rap in Italian at the time. It was probably me and 2 other guys.
Right.
In those days. So
And then loads of white dudes.
yeah,
Yeah.
loads of ideas.
Thousands
So
of, yeah,
you
right.
could imagine like the freestyle battles about like racial, you know, slurs and that. It was crazy though. But I always came out with something, you know,
Smart.
Genius,
Yeah. Nice. So what sort of level, when you came over here, we'll talk about you coming over here in a minute, but like where were you at in terms of like Italy's MCs and Verona's MCs? 'Cause obviously we've got an idea of UK hip hop and UK grime and where sort of people are in levels and stuff, but out there were you like, oh, it's the god, or what was it?
so
Where were you sort of?
I was like, I'd say, you know, when someone is up and coming by, is about to build his name.
Yeah.
That sort
Somewhere
of like,
around there.
Yeah, because like MTV got me like a lot of like, you know, shine.
Cool.
So many African, you know, hip hop listeners and rap listeners like were really looking up to me.
Yeah.
And basically I got signed, but that deal wasn't really the best for me at the time.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was ready to actually come out with an album or stuff like that. But probably I was still in the development
Did you put that out? Did that come out on the
So I
label?
did on my own.
Okay.
My first release was Alpha EP. That was in 2010, probably 2011.
Okay, right.
And yes, but things didn't go well with the label. So
Talk to me about that. What happened with the label? Where they just, unless you don't want to talk.
no, it's
like-
all right. Honestly, I'm super friendly with them anyway.
Oh,
so,
okay,
yeah.
sick. What was the
No,
problems?
I think the problem was that at the time, the Italian scene wasn't ready to see like a black dude rapping in Italian and talking about his own stuff.
Right.
You know.
What were they
So,
expecting? What did they want? Like, what do you think?
Honestly, for me, there were like those days. Rap wasn't taken that seriously.
Yeah.
To be frank,
Fair.
Even the white people doing rap with a bigger name than me, they were struggling to get into places,
Get that.
struggling to perform, struggling to be recognized as actually artists. So. All going back to me, I was like the first one. I was like probably an anomaly for them.
Right.
and I think the label didn't know how to manage me to push me to the next level.
It's a shame.
And plus, me probably I wasn't mature enough mentally to be able to undergo whatever was the process to then emerge.
Yeah,
I
I get
wanted
it.
it quickly.
Of course, you want it now, innit?
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
was
fair
like-
dues.
There was bad stuff happening like in my private life
Yeah.
that I needed to deal with. So like I needed the moolah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I needed to be in places like performing and like show my parents that I was actually doing something with my life.
Sick. You had
So,
something to
yeah.
prove following the
Right?
1500.
Yeah, trust me, like that 1500, man. Crazy.
Why then did you, I mean, this is the big question. Why did you move to the UK? What was the decision and where? Did you go straight to London or were you straight here? I know there was some bits of you spitting in London.
Yeah, I was in London for a bit.
So did you go to Verona to London initially?
Yeah,
And what was the
so-
thought process there?
So thought process, long story short, I go to MTV, I go to Italia's Got Talent because I also did that.
You did that. How did
I
you do
that
in
as well.
that?
So my manager find that deal for me to, perform, but I think it was already scripted that I wasn't about to pass to the next stage
Scripted?
and all that.
Is that how that works, yeah?
TV is TV though. It's,
Right, yeah.
It's like I'd say is really how can I say led? I won't say scripted, but led.
Right, I see.
So again, got my P's for that. My mom was like, you know what? I don't want you in the house anymore, man, because you and your rapping stuff. You ain't going anywhere.
Oh, so the parents never really
they
were
were
feeling
like,
that rapping stuff, right?
Enough. You don't want to work. You don't want to go to uni. What
Sounds
you
familiar.
gonna- You get me? What are you
Yeah.
gonna do with this? Come on, go to your cousin that lives in London. Go there.
Ah, you had a cousin in London?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. What was he doing in London? What was his
So
story?
my cousin, she was basically like working. She had like two daughters,
Right.
and she was just like living her life, raising her daughters.
Oh, right. She'd
So,
already been
like,
here for ages. Like.
Yeah. By the time I moved here, it was already 10 years that she was here.
Oh, okay, nice.
So, like, she was,
well
like,
established.
well settled.
Whereabouts in London, out of interest?
So it was outside London and near Twickenham.
Oh, yeah, I know it. Yeah.
So that area.
Yeah.
And spend a bit there, find a job, okay. But it was so far away from London. And I always used to go to London to meet some Italian friends that I knew that were there already.
Sick.
So after a while, I was like, you know what, I'm going to London.
Yeah.
So then I just moved on my own to spend some time in London. So I did from 2016 to 2018
Yeah.
on my own in London.
Wow.
I was in East London.
Sleeping on sofas and shit? Or how was it? Because it's so expensive out there.
Yeah, so I did sofa,
Surfing.
surfing for a bit.
Sick.
And then I found my own small, room.
Yeah.
Then I moved to a bigger one because I changed jobs. I was like changing jobs like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like shoes, basically.
All the while focusing on the music, though, I assumed. What did you get? Was there much?
The first period, I wasn't really focusing on music because I didn't have the connections to actually, record and stuff like that. I didn't know anyone. So when I moved to London, then I started like to get to know Italians, promoters, and studios and stuff like that. So then all the stuff that I was already writing,
Yeah. You could go do.
I could go do. So then I started like experimenting grime because I was like, fun fact as well. Speaking of grime, the thing is like, I started doing grime when I moved to the UK.
Yeah.
But the first time I saw something related to grime was on Channel U because,
Old school.
yeah, we're talking about like probably 2005.
Sounds right. Yeah. That's like
2005?
the kind of the birth of grime. I mean, someone will want to correct me there, but it was like
Yeah.
coming out really strong that era,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
so 2005 was Channel U. My dad used to have those decoders where you can catch different channels from different places.
Sick.
That was back in Italy though.
Nice.
And I saw Roll Deep When I'm Here
Right.
video, and that
Was that there?
flashed me. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
But that was like just a blip and that was it.
Okay.
Like, okay, that's fine. Probably British people doing rap, that's it. But then when I came to the UK, then I started connecting the dots. I was like, oh, so that is Wiley, and this is
I
that
see.
guy,
Yeah.
and this is grime, and this and that. So I started like studying my stuff.
I get you.
And then because I was in East London, I was in near Plasto. Then I was like, I'm exactly where everything started, basically. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, it's only right that I start doing this in Italian.
I see.
So
I
then
see.
I was like, okay, let's go with the grime thing.
So were you, when you were writing and stuff back in Italy before you came across, was that mainly hip hop? Would you say like a non-grime
Exactly.
thing?
So my background in Italy is hip hop.
So what influence is that? Is that because we were literally just talking about Nas's Illmatic
Yeah.
anniversary just then? Is he an example of someone that you grew up
Honestly,
listening
like,
to?
is a bit of both, a bit mainstream, a bit underground. So I was listening from Cool G Rap
Sick.
to Tupac and Biggie
Yeah.
to Snoop and back to, I don't know, Rascas.
I mean, you were breakdancing and graffiti. It's like the absolute perfect. It's
Exactly.
all the perfect
So
hip-hop
for me,
that,
it was
innit?
all about the rhythm. Like my favorite MC of all time is Busta Rhymes.
Ah, amazing.
So
Yeah, I see.
It was all about rhythm and like, try to put you know,
Syllable structures.
and
Love
all of
that.
that. So for me, it was really about the rhythm and how something can catch
And I mean,
you.
grime, because it's great to get you on because I haven't had many like grime like purists, as it were, and
Yeah.
I'm also very well known for being a proper old granddad with liking my hip hop and not
Yeah.
necessarily my grime too much. So it's good to get you on to get that musical diversity in there. But one thing to say about grime is like it is so about the rhythm, innit? It doesn't
Absolutely,
even matter
bro.
what people are saying half the time. It's just like if it
Absolutely, like-
sounds sick on a beat, like
Honestly, an example is Fleur to D. So Fleur to D is like I'd say one of the pioneers of grime. Like is a legend, and he made sound effects. He doesn't even rap.
Right.
It sounds so sick on the beat.
Yeah.
That you always get a reload.
Yeah.
Like always. He can even do it like a cappella. He'll get a
people want to
reload.
hear that back.
Yeah. So
Sick.
it's sick. It's sick. I fell in love because even though grime is more like a cousin of hip hop.
Yeah.
I think if you break it down to the essence of it,
Yeah.
it's really what rap is all about.
Yeah, absolutely,
It's like if you break it down to the core, it all goes back to Jamaica, all goes back to dancehall culture.
That rhythm over a
And-
beat, that
Exactly.
movement, energy,
So
and it's
that
always energy
and all
in it,
that, like crowd control.
Yeah.
The MC aspect of it. So,
Yeah.
That's why I fell in love with it, because I was like, I'm a hip hop head, but this is actually the essence of like being an MC.
So you're sitting at the home of grime in London at the time.
Yes, exactly.
Starting to get on that stuff. So like, what were you using? So in terms of like production and stuff like that, was it producers you knew? Was it the Italian guys that you'd hooked up with, or were you starting to get links with grime dudes? Or
Initially, I was like working with the Italian producers.
Yep.
But then I think what really changed was when I met Foreign Beggars.
I didn't know you met Foreign Beggars.
Yeah, like Pavan is a friend of mine.
No way.
Yeah. He's a
Sick.
friend of mine. I think it was the first serious people that I met in the UK.
Yeah.
And Pavan put me on with like different producers. He literally sent me like a folder with like lost and found beats. Like it was like, do whatever you want with them.
Ah, sick.
And that was it basically. So my first grime projects were from Pavan's, lost and found like folder he just sent me.
Mad.
Because it was
That's
crazy.
stuff available
man.
to listen to. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know whether I was digging through and found anything along those lines. So that's
Yeah.
crazy, man.
It's mad though, because again, it was just by chance that I met them, because at the time I was living with an Italian dude, and we were sharing the house, and this guy was into music, but like seriously into music.
Yeah.
And he needed to go and do an interview to the Foreign Beggars, and it couldn't make it. So it was like, you're good in English, go and do the interview for me, and then
sick.
we post it. I was like, okay, I'm just going. I didn't even know who Foreign Beggars were at the time. And went there, generally went well. I also met the first like old school Ocean Wisdom.
Oh, shit, right.
So like some like old school stuff basically.
Yeah.
And nothing, man. I was like, yo, that's sick, man. Let's stay connected. And then Bish Bash Bush, we started like, trying to get to know each other. Then Pavan called me for a freestyle for an app that was Brap. The Brap app.
I remember that. I did briefly remember
I did a
seeing that.
freestyle for it.
Too sick.
And then from there it was like, yo, you take these beats, do whatever you want with
Did you
them.
perform much in London? Were there many like?
Yes, I was doing like opening shows for Italian artists that were coming to London to perform. So like, the Sfere Basta. So these are big names in Italy. So Gue Pequeño, Sfere Basta. I did Luque and some other artists. So yeah.
Did you do much stuff where it was like the rest of the artists were English? and how was that taken? Because obviously you're open for all the Italian dudes there,
Yeah.
but like what happened when you get on an English grime set back then? Or didn't you?
So at that time, I wasn't really doing grime sets because, again, I was experimenting, getting my feet wet, trying to understand how the culture was and how was the approach for me to be on the beat.
Yeah.
Because again, I loved it, but like just doing it for the sake of it, it wasn't really the best thing. So after dropping the first project, actually the second one, I was like, okay, let me just study this. and I started connecting with DJs. By the time that was 2018, so I was already moving here to Leeds.
Right, yeah.
So by that time, I was more serious in like trying to do some grime sets.
I see.
Trying to do grime freestyles on social media just to get attention.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Show
Yeah,
people
yeah,
that
yeah.
I was able to do it as well.
Which you seem to do a really good job of, man. You're really well followed and really well listened to. Why the fuck did you move from the home of, excuse me swearing, I think I'm the first one to do it. Why did you move from the home of grime to Leeds? Not that I'm complaining.
It was mad though. So it was really a bad experience that led me to move here. So
mad.
obviously East London, we all know how East London
You
can
hear
be
it's rough,
sometimes.
man.
So long story short, I got chased by some, let's say a gang of people. Probably there was a mistaken identity because I've never been involved in any of that, shenanigans. But yeah, like that shook me enough to be like, you know what, I'm spending too much in this place already. It's not gonna take me anywhere. Just move somewhere else.
And what did you finger in a map?
I was like, finger in the map.
Really?
Leeds. Boom.
What? I was taking a piss. There surely was more reason for Leeds than that. Was there anything about Leeds that you'd like gone, it must be this is the spot?
Honestly, no. It's just the fact that I knew that there were loads of Ghanaians, because originally I'm from Ghana.
Yeah.
So a lot of Ghanaians here, so I could have find like a sense of community.
Were you born in Ghana or were your parents Ghanaian?
My parents are Ghanaian.
Right, yeah, nice.
But I speak the language too.
Oh,
though. So
damn.
like, yeah, Italian, English, and Ghanaian. And yeah, so I was like, you know what? Let me just move to Leeds, start fresh. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
At the time, I was like, okay, what are we gonna do? I was like, okay, my parents always told me that I should have gone to school to at least get a degree. Let's get a degree then, but we're gonna study exactly what we want.
So you went music?
So I went music.
Where'd you
I
go?
went entertainment management.
Sick.
That was Leeds Beckett.
Oh shit! So your professor will have been, don't tell me, Stuart Moss.
Yes.
I know him well,
Yes.
man. Yeah, legend. In fact,
Yes,
I think he probably
legendary
recommended me.
Stuart
Same
Moss.
time he was recommending me.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Amazing. So you did it with him.
Yeah, so I did it with him. Like, honestly, a mentor.
Yeah.
Really opened my eyes on how to move, like, maneuver myself as self-managing artist, because till now, like, I'm
Just been kind of making it up as you go along. with it.
exactly. So I'm just doing everything by
So
myself.
Stuart Moss helped you set like groundwork of how to like work as an artist and
exactly. So yeah, and also understand all the aspects of like doing music and how music can become a commodity and like what is a trademark and seeing yourself as an artist as a trademark and how to carry yourself and build a business around it.
Yeah.
So it was little aspects to be able to understand how to maneuver yourself.
Yep. Yeah.
In the case maybe you get signed or whatever.
2-6. So you've moved up to Leeds, did that for a few years.
Yeah.
And then what were you building? Because you've just been there as long as I've known, really. So like, what were the movements then? Because you were definitely getting on grime sets by the time you came over to Leeds and stuff.
At the time I was in Leeds, I was getting in grime sets.
How did you get into the scene? Who were the first people that we hang around with now that you were like?
The first people I hang around with were like some young cats, students as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about SOFU gang.
No, I don't.
Okay,
Soul Food Gang.
SOFU, SOFU.
Oh,
gang.
Soul Food Gang. Okay.
So there was this guy that now is part of SOFU gang. That is his name is what was it? A peculiar dialect. It's from Mani originally.
Right.
He was resident here for quite a long time.
Peculiar dialect called.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And basically, it was doing like some, let's say, open mics at LS6 Cafe.
Word.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go there and smash everything. Literally. So I went there once. I saw what was going on. I was like, oh, okay. Went back, and that was actually my introduction to the scene.
Huh. Right.
And so I went there. I did my thing. People were like, yo, so you're doing this stuff in Italian?
Yeah.
What language is that? Is Italian? Like, no, bro, that's not Italian.
Yeah.
That's something else, bro. That's sick, bro. Now, people were going mad, to be frank.
Yeah.
And yes, since then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to every single open mic that is there.
Yeah.
To be able to then like get my name out there and start performing.
Yeah.
And like magic, this really started to snowball.
Beautiful.
And I started like performing. I performed at Hi-Fi. I performed at Hedgerow House.
Yeah.
Performed at Belgrave. and so on. This was all around 2018, 19.
Yeah.
And then obviously lockdown came up.
Made it.
That was smash out balls like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Bam.
They give you a chance to write though, or like sort of. Were you able to take stock in like 2020 and go, okay, this is how I'm going to come out after?
Honestly,
or?
yes. Like I used 2020 to then, let's say, develop all my image in terms of like videos and in terms of like how to promote my music to get more listeners to it.
Yeah.
So like while all people were like locked down, I was just taking the train to Bradford, shoot videos and
Sick.
Push them out.
Mate, because like your Instagram's got like 15k followers, your monthly listeners on Spotify is like 2.5k. Like you are like a big artist as far as like the internet's concerned, definitely, man.
Yeah.
Like your live sets and stuff, which you've done recently for Shit Show amongst
Shit
others,
Show, exactly.
have gone off, man, by all accounts. So like, sky's the limit, really, with what you're doing. And I did have a question from the audience: why don't you rap in English at all, or would you, or why have you stuck with Italian? I guess is the question.
I guess it's something more related to my identity. So I want to stick to like my identity as an Italian MC. That doesn't mean that I will not do English music or write English bars. Probably I will try to incorporate more English into it.
I've heard you do that because you've come and you freestyled or rapped with when my live band Jamatoni have done some bits and pieces, and you've got that amalgamation of a little bit of English and then back to Italian.
Exactly.
And honestly, it's so beautiful to listen to. Your flow is like impeccable. You're so nice to listen to. And as an English, I mean, I didn't have this question because I were like, yeah, damn right, you rap in Italian. It sounds fire. Why wouldn't you? And I think from sometimes as an English listener, I'm like, it's nice to not have to go, what's he say? What's he say? What's he saying? I can just like sit back and enjoy the rhythm. 100%, man.
Because that's exactly what the first thing that made me fall in love with rap in the first place.
Yeah.
Like
the Busta Rhymes. Jesus Christ, what was he saying half the time?
Exactly, though. Like I didn't get a clue until I started like really be fluent with English to understand every single word that he was saying. It was more like, wow, look at this.
When did you start learning English? Did you do some in school? Because your English is incredible for 3 languages, man. Like,
thank you, man.
Bro, honestly.
So, put it this way, in Ghana, we speak English anyway.
Okay.
So
it's standard,
so it's standard. So
parents brought you up with a bit of English.
So there was a bit of English at home anyways. Like Cartoon Network and all that, like in English, like purely English, because my mom was like, if you don't watch it in English, you're not going to watch it at all. Okay.
Your mum's triple hard, man.
Yeah, trust me, man. Like, she was like, yo, you need to learn English because that will take you far. She was right.
Word, man.
She was right.
So I remember seeing a video of you in a full-ass basketball stadium rapping in the middle of it. And I think you were in Italy when you did that.
Yeah.
Did your mum see that? And did she
yes,
go,
of course.
There we go. Made it. Did you finally get that moment of like?
Of course, man. Like, honestly, there's like a story behind it. After I did that show, my mom was in the bus going somewhere, and she was going somewhere, and I needed to meet her where she was going. All of a sudden, I jump in the bus as well because like I needed to be at the right stop to then jump in the bus and then continue with her with the journey.
Yeah.
And there was a schoolboy that just went to her. She was like, "Oh, how do you know Blackson?" And she was like, "Blackson is my son." She was like, "Oh, I saw him performing at the stadium, the basketball, because I'm a basketball fan for Scaligera Basket, that is the basketball team of our area."
Yeah.
And it was sick though, like, "Whoa, can I take a picture?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, let's take a picture." So the guy took a picture with me and my mom.
Yes.
He was in the middle.
Yeah,
that was fun. That was fun to see.
Bet she felt well proud of that move, man.
Absolutely.
How did you get that gig? Is that just like through all the stuff, the MTV and stuff, just through your name being big in that area?
I've got some connections, like the art director of that establishment, put it that way. He's always been on me in terms of like trying to figure out how to incorporate my music into the basketball, events, because hip hop and basketball like
together, like
is like this
harmony, man.
It's just in Italy that they don't really clock it because some old heads, they're just old heads.
Fair
like,
enough.
you really have to spoon feed.
Yeah. You have to come to them with the idea a lot of the time. What if we do this?
Exactly.
And that's cool.
That was a smashing success, to be frank. Since then. Now they have a DJ that is playing during like the breaks, is playing like hip hop old school jams and stuff
Bit
like
of Blackson.
Yeah, a bit of Blackson, exactly, so I can get some royalties.
Yeah, boy.
You get me? And yeah, like, and is building from there. But like my experience, that particular event was the first one. So yeah, there was a lot at stake, to be frank.
When you go back to Verona, is it like, here he is, it's the fucking golden child, you know what I mean? And like everyone's
Yeah.
like, yo, let's...
Honestly, yes and no, because I'd say for my generation and the one straight after mine, yes.
I see.
For Gen Z,
Yeah,
no.
they don't give a fuck.
They don't give a shit
My
about you,
generation
man.
don't give a fuck
Gen
about...
Gen Z rappers, maybe the African rappers, like the one from Africa with African descent or origin.
Yeah.
They fuck with me, that like they call me the OG. Oh yeah, yo, uncle,
OG.
what you saying, OG? You good, yeah? every time I put a like, oh yo, thank you very much, OG man. I respect your thing, man. Yo. So it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the others.
No, don't want to know.
Yeah, but I guess it is what it is, you know.
Of course, yeah.
Until I pick a mic and then I show them what I can do. They don't really know who they're fucking with.
I was listening through your music. All of it on Spotify is grime, pretty much. The kind of genre that I've said before. I'm like, not massively feeling. It's nothing to do with you. It's because I'm an old man and whatever. Who cares? However, there was something, and I've forgotten the producer already. I was trying to memorize it. 8 years ago, there's a couple of tracks produced by one guy. It's on a YouTube or maybe on YouTube, and it bangs, bro. It's some hip hop.
Yeah.
Bro, I've written it down. Oh, my phone's over there. I can't remember who the producer is,
Yeah.
but it's like some hip hop shit, and it sounds
Yeah.
fucking fire.
Oh, you're talking about the Mojo, Dave the Mojo.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the
my
name,
guy.
Mate, can we have some more
Okay,
of that
so
kind of style, Blackson?
Big up Dave the Mojo. You see, you go in places, man.
Defo, man.
No,
Guy's
my
sick.
guy.
Beats
It
were
is-
dope right down
so-
the street. You're
so
rapping
that
over it
guy-
sick. You're
that-
in the middle of a motorway or something.
Yes,
rapping
exactly,
at it. Yeah.
exactly, man. The Mojo is so before, like, because I think I miss a bit. While doing my music independently by myself in Italy and trying to develop, I had two crews.
Okay.
One crew was Hard Knox.
Hard Knox. Word.
Yeah.
That was saw the record label with that.
Exactly. So Hard Knox was actually the guys that I started doing rap with from 2007 till let's say 2011.
Yeah.
And then for 1 year I was with Manca Melanina, but that was like a different type of set. We were all black people, you know, and we were trying to, you know, show that there's a bit of melanin in the scene. So that was actually the idea.
in the
So-
black music scene. Yeah.
you get me? So in Italy, we were trying to push that narrative, like, yo, manca melanina means like there's no melanin. So
Love it.
The
that's
name was
that's literally
exactly. So the
that's
name already
beautiful.
was explaining
That's so
what
sick.
was missing
Yeah.
in the scene. So that was sick for 1 year or so. Like,
So you
we
were
did that.
Blackson from Where's the Melanin or whatever.
There you go. There
You really shoving it down the throat,
Yeah, exactly.
man.
Like, take it. Yeah, that was it. So Dave the Mojo was the producer and DJ of Hard Knox.
Right. Yeah.
And he's still producing, still active. He's
Hard
doing-
Knox still going, and he's going with them. is it?
So Hard Knocks was split up because I think with the fact that I moved there,
Right.
things didn't go well. It was a bit slow. It was a slower pace than what we were doing at the time.
Yep.
But like every single MC is still doing his thing individually. We're
Sick.
still all like in friendly terms. And every now and then I speak with Dave. Actually, the Mojo. I actually have something with him that will come out soon.
Is it hip hoppy?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, bro. Yes, bro.
Hearing you, it was. I only heard it today because I was just having a bit more of a dig than usual. 'Cause
Yeah.
on Spotify, I'd be on Spotify and stuff, and I was like, "This is flames." I'd love
Honestly,
to hear that stuff.
let me tell
bro.
you this, yeah. Like even though I really fell in love with grime, like I can never forget where I'm coming from.
Of course,
where
yeah.
I came from.
Yep.
And every now and then I feel like, yo, listen to this, man. Oh,
Yeah, writing on that.
Yeah.
Sick.
It just gets like it's second nature now because like probably with the fact that I'm writing on a faster pace on faster beats. Now when I go back to 90 BPMs.
Can really get into it, really enjoy it. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
But
like, I
also
can take
get
my
that Busta
time.
Rhymes spirit over the
Get
sick
me?
Dilla
Like, I
beats,
can-
but
I
like
can
crazy with it.
Do whatever I want on
Sick.
it. So
people can come through to you with some collab. If
Oh, yes,
it's a
man.
beat sick on some hip hop, you get on
Yeah,
it
man,
kind of
I can
thing.
do it. I
Worth
can do
bearing
it.
in mind.
Yeah,
that,
it's
man.
not like I'm just grime. No,
Just
no.
grime, yeah. Well, in my
Honestly,
head, I had you was just grime. If I'm honest, before even today, I was like, I thought he's just grime, and fair play to you because I think there's a greater listenership of it.
Yeah.
It's more of a recent music, you know. That other stuff's old.
Put it this way, like I'm like that generation, probably even year wise in terms of like how old we are, but I'm really that ocean wisdom type of generation where like we cross over between grime and
Yeah,
hip hop
yeah.
because we listen to both. We got influenced by both.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Love the flow and all.
that's what I do basically. So yeah.
Fair dues.
Yeah.
So the Blackson of today in Leeds. What's the? Because I saw that there's a merchandise label and it seemed like more than just merchandise. It seemed like a whole concept, which is called Blackstar.
Yes.
Talk to me about that, bro. What's the idea? What's the concept?
Blackstar was an idea that came out when I actually moved here in the UK because like believe it or not, I realized my blackness, my Africanism in here, staying like, you know, across different people, meeting different people and trying to understand who I am really.
Yep.
So Blackstar, obviously, Blackstar is also the Black Star in the Ghanaian flag, but it's also how we call our football players.
Ah,
the
really?
Blackstars.
The Ghanaian football team, right?
players.
Okay.
So Blackstar again is like a concept where like, yes, I'm trying to put some shine on different artists. So we created this platform where like initially I'm obviously gonna sell my merch.
Yeah.
Any other artists that want to take part of the project can sell their merch on that.
Yeah.
Without having to build up a new website and all that.
Yeah.
Obviously with a small cut that maybe we will take.
Yeah.
But also because the other partner that is working with me that is from Switzerland, he also has like a media promotion company.
Oh, right.
So he has all the connections in Italy with like, you know, TV shows, radio,
Wow.
you know, how do they call it? News, magazines and stuff like that. So like he can really get you published on different, you know, different avenues.
Sick.
So we try to put everything together and probably the next step will be like to try to create like a sort of label, but obviously with like some terms that would be some sort of like different from the rest of, you know, let's say labels that are out there.
Yeah,
We want
I
to
see.
give control back to the
Artists themselves. Yeah, I get that. That's
just try to help them push themselves to then develop.
Have
because,
you got? Go on.
Sorry if I cut you.
No, you didn't.
Because I think that what is missing now is artist development.
Agreed.
Is artist development. There's so many cats out there that all they think is, oh, I just drop a song and I put it on
Yeah.
Spotify and it's just gonna fly.
Yeah. And there's people with same people with great talent and just no idea how to like
There
move
you
and
go.
shake with it.
So like it's just to make sure that we can put that business mentality like next to artists that just wanna, you know, think about the art and like concentrate on that so that then they will be ready whenever that, you know, signing contract situation comes in.
Have you got people already running with Blackstar? What?
Yes, we have like one artist that wants to sell his CBD product.
Oh, damn. Nice.
Yeah. So he produces CBD back in Italy. So he wants to basically start to sell it and, you know, across probably Europe.
Wow, that's not even music related. So you're just like a bit of everything, like trying to create a bit of everything with
This
it.
is the start of the journey of like Blackson as an entrepreneur, I'd say at this point, because obviously I'm putting my image first to promote this, but like we are trying to build something from nothing, basically.
It's a good idea, man. One thing I saw was the €230 infinite ticket tee.
That's the one that
Are
I've
you
got
rocking
here
that
now.
right now?
Yeah.
So for 200, as I understood it from the description, for €230, you could go to any of your gigs,
My gigs for free
for life.
For life.
Have you had any takers of that?
Not yet, but I'm pretty sure that with the Blackson, you know, brand going up and up and up,
Yeah.
eventually someone will
Yeah,
buy
I
it.
mean, yeah, it's a great idea, a lovely idea, and a good way to like, get into it. I was just laughing at it this morning, just going, well, that's
because
sick.
it sounds crazy until it becomes real.
So it becomes real. Well, that's it. But then I was
That's the
thinking,
point.
like, that's going to pay for itself in potentially depending on how
yeah.
many gigs you do.
Yeah.
But one day you're going to be like rocking sold out venues and be like, but I'm going to have to get
because,
these guys on the door.
Because imagine though, at the end of the day, like what I'm trying to do now is to create that sort of scarcity. Because like initially I'm already scarce. Like I'm not there often. So whenever I'm there,
it's like,
I'm doing something big or I'm performing or stuff like that, or I'm recording with someone.
Yep.
So try to create that scarcity will eventually put my value a bit more up eventually with time.
Yeah.
So that's why we came up with this idea. Yeah, this is actually the logo.
Yeah,
That is
Blackstar
Blackstar
logo.
and Blackson as well with a cross.
BS behind it,
Yeah,
nice.
we love it though.
Sick.
Love it. Yeah.
Where are you recording and stuff? Who are you running? Like, where are you running with? Or do you home record or
A home recorder at the moment.
Oh, so all your so
Yeah.
every verse I put, because I've obviously taken a lot of verses for Precinct Phantom, particularly a couple of yours, and they're always really well mixed and stuff
Yeah.
like that. They always drop nicely into the session, man. So you just doing it
I'm a
yourself.
self-taught.
Love that.
To be frank, I think.
What are you using?
So I use Ableton.
Sick.
Ableton 10.
Yep.
And I think I have, how do they call it? When people can recognize notes without
Perfect pitch. So if like I go la, it's a G sort of thing or whatever. It probably isn't. But yeah, wow.
Perfect pitch.
Wow, damn. So you
But I don't know the note.
Yeah,
but I can
yeah.
recognize if
I see.
is the correct note or not. In fact, I started producing as well.
So I was going to say you're making your own beats. Have you released a track with your own
Not
beat
yet, but like
Okay.
we
That's the
I'm
main.
trying, because now what I'm trying to do is like to produce as much beats as possible to be able to then give it for free to people that I think are rate.
People you want to work with in
Exactly.
the scene.
And then see how this develops. If people start saying, oh, this beat is actually banging.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, oh, okay.
You've got something.
Maybe we have something that we can work on, because at the moment it's like when I started doing freestyle, I thought it was good, but I waited until someone told me that I was good. To then
Yeah, to
realize.
believe it. Okay,
So yeah,
Nice.
it's the same now.
What's the movements for Blackson now? Then you've obviously got your Blackstar thing, which is like good, trying to build some massive CBD and all the rest of it. It's just a big old business in itself. Like, what are you trying to achieve with what you're doing musically? What are your next steps?
Honestly, to be frank, I just want to perform more.
Yeah?
Probably make this like a full-time thing, because it's still like a side gig.
Yeah.
I still have a 9-to-5 job.
Yep.
So yeah, the next step is probably like taking this as a business.
Yep.
And like maybe register myself as a business and then like go full-time on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to take that step, because at the end of the day, it's a leap of faith.
Yeah.
But yeah, like probably that would be the next step to then like actually fully be productive on music, selling beats, performing and stuff like that. Because again, like I am the only Italian guy doing this in the UK.
Word.
And
It's very unique.
it's unique.
Word.
I landed a future with Saskila that is like basically they call him the godson of grime.
Yeah. And you've done a
says a
feature
lot.
with him, yeah?
Yeah, because I dropped a song called Afro Mafia.
Oh, yeah.
That was like a few months ago.
Yeah.
And the song was so good that he just contacted me. I was like, yo,
get on
send that
it.
beat here, man. Let me just destroy it. And plus, I got his brother as well, Jam K.
Yeah.
So it's me, Saskila, and Jam K. And we're planning to shoot the video as well, like really soon. So
Sick.
So yeah. it's
So
something
working
that-
with these big, I mean, that's it. You came into the UK and then met Foreign Beggars. And then
Yeah.
you've got these kind of dudes that you were collaborating with.
Yeah,
so
then
like,
I met Wiley in 2022.
Yeah.
Again, he was telling me, bro, if you're in this room, you're doing the right thing. So keep doing what you're doing. So again,
Wow.
I got accepted, really accepted here. Like people embrace what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Even though they're not really getting exactly what I'm saying. But again, like music is universal.
Of course, yeah.
So-
and what about so what's your thoughts on like the grime scene of West Yorkshire? Because I think a lot of people, if they were stopped in the street, well, who knew, and were like, who's running grime in Leeds or whatever, I think Dialect would be a name that came
Dialect,
out a
yeah.
lot. Is that someone you've running with or you've met?
Yeah,
Or,
absolutely. Dialect
like-
is a brother, bro. Like Dialect, like I remember the first time I came to Leeds as a tourist, I saw him busking. I was like, yo,
Yes.
you're sick, bro. Like, let's just exchange, contacts. And at the time, Instagram was there, so like we just exchanged contact. And since then, like we always gravitate,
The same sort of bits and
yeah,
pieces.
the same places.
Sick.
And like recently, I got to know Zen as well.
Amazing MC as well. Crazy
Zen is
battler on. Crazy
Zen
battler.
is like a legend.
Yeah.
Actually, he's like pushing boundaries now because he's at the pen game.
Battles, isn't he? Yeah. He just
and
won
he's-
the thing, right?
Yeah, he's going to the finals or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Like,
yeah.
it's
Something
it's
to be really
actually-
proud of as a West Yorkshire
Exactly,
thing, but it's
though.
probably not a lot of
Exactly,
light on
though.
it. I think in certain communities we don't even know what's going on. Like in an old dusty hip hop heads
Yeah.
don't really know what's going on, but we should be going. Look how sick that is that Zen's doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
like,
trust
yeah.
me. Like I think in general, like a scene supposed to be all united in terms of like, oh, let's all turn up to that event. Let's all turn up to that event.
Yeah.
Because
Is it missing
eventually-
that? Do you think?
I think that's the missing part, like that community sense of like without like feeling like, oh, I'm more and bigger than that guy, or lesser than that guy. It's just like, oh, I'm just turning up to your event. So
Big up.
eventually you turn up to mine.
Yeah.
And then like and then it creates a movement.
I totally agree, man. What do you think could help with that? Because obviously, like the idea with the Dub Y was always that community of all, grime, trap, hip hop, whatever, just soul music, whatever,
Yeah.
and just trying to get everyone together and understanding who each other is, and maybe working with each other, or maybe just turning to each other's gigs and stuff. Like, is there a piece of the puzzle missing with grime? Could we be
You know why? Because we are all trying to.
main character?
Yes, but also we are all trying to be in London.
Word.
We always want to go to London.
I hate that. It needs to be about Leeds, isn't it?
Exactly.
Oh, Yorkshire.
We got so much potential here. Like,
Yeah.
Look at Manchester. Manchester rappers
That's
don't
killing.
really need to go to.
Nah, they've got
to
everything.
London. They've got everything there.
What are we missing here, bro? What do you think? What's the infrastructure
Again,
that we're missing?
I think it's a bit of I won't say inferiority complex, but we think we've been trained to think that the bigger things are happening in London. When think about it, even the carnival, the first carnival, the original carnival
Was
is
up
from
here,
Leeds,
right?
innit?
Yeah. Part of Newton Park,
The
word.
first community, we're talking about the Afro-Caribbean community
Yep.
that stood up for something was
Yep.
here.
And people are still going Notting Hill on the same day down at London to go to that one
get
instead.
me?
You're like,
No. So again, probably a bit more of research, a bit more of understanding who we really are.
Yeah.
To then embrace ourselves a bit
needs to
more.
be a bit more pride about
You get
it. It
me?
feels like we need a way. Like if there was radio and magazines all shouting us out in the area and
Yeah.
shouting each other out, I feel
Yeah.
like it's just knowing in it and just knowing this shit's
There
going
you
on.
go. For example, there's a guy that I rate so much from SOFU, the SOFU crew, is Blazer Buckle. He doesn't change his accent. It's actually cool to hear him rapping with the northern accent.
Yeah.
He's communicating that slang that then maybe someone will take down south.
Yeah.
Eventually.
For what it matters.
It's not cool until you make it cool.
100%. I love that, man.
So
I love that. Totally
if
agree.
you don't make it cool, then some people will just laugh at it.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you make it cool because you think it's cool, then eventually it's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Fully rate that, man.
Yeah, man.
Blackson, I think I've just about finished all the questions I had for you, man.
Respect, bro.
It's been so good to have you, man. Big
so
the
good
hell
to
up,
speak
man.
to you, bro.
Thanks for coming through, bro.
Nice one, guys.
Big up. So that was Blackson. Go check out Blackstar as well that we talked about. Go listen to his stuff. Absolutely phenomenal MC, and massive big ups to him coming through. And yeah, until next time, big up.